I'm going to start off with the best, and getting to the worst. Usually it's bad news first and good news, but fuck it. I'm a little psycho, so I'm going to get into it with the best first. I just want to preface this by saying I'm not a season ticket holder. I was born in 2007, so I am quite a young fan in comparison to others. So take that into context, because a lot of these are probably going to be quite recent. You're going to probably say, well, where's us getting beat by fucking Bury and shit? That's not in there because I wasn't alive. Oh, yeah. 5, Monaco 3. And we did technically get robbed in this as well, despite the fact we scored 5 goals. Aguero got taken now by Subasic, whoever he is, the Monaco goalkeeper. Should have had another pen in that game. I mean, we're shit at pens anyway, don't get me wrong, but good chance we scored that still. And that would have got us through to the next round. We could have won the Champions League in Pep's first season, for God's sake. I mean, Robin bastard UEFA. Boo, boo, the champ, boo, fuck off. Fucking knobheads. Now, you might listen to that and go, Monaco. Fucking Monaco was one of the best games you've ever been to. This was probably the best Monaco side, particularly in my lifetime. This was Mbappe in his breakthrough year. Bernardo Silva, who's obviously a club legend with us now, was there. Benjamin Mendy was there. Fabinho was there. João Moutinho's at Wolves was there. Thomas Lemar was there. Like, they had a pretty good fucking team. I mean, they got to the semi-finals that year. They also had Falcao as well, who, I've got to be honest, he probably scored a goal in that game in which something I never do is clap an opposition player when they score against us. Don't get me wrong, still didn't do it this game because why the fuck would I do that? But he scored a goal which is probably the only ever goal which we've conceded, and I've just gone, fair enough, because it was such a good goal. Willy Caballero was playing in goal for us that day. I'm pretty sure Mbappe scored in that game as well. I'm pretty sure Stone scored for us. That was his first season. I think Sane scored as well. That was the game for me. That was the epitome of, end of the day, you come out with the win, but still, it's a great game overall. One of those games that even if you were neutral, you wouldn't mind tuning into. Do you know what I mean? On that similar sort of note, the next best game that I've been to, similar to that kind of thing, is when we beat Leicester 6-3 in 21-22. I know you might think Leicester in League One, mate, how the fuck is that a good result? But yeah, that was a very good Leicester side. They had Maddison, they had Tielemans, they had Vardy, Iheanacho, our star boy, Schmeichel in goal. So they had a pretty good team. 4-0 up in the first half. I was talking about dominance, what you want going into a game, obviously, because we don't know that you are going to win, so that's what you want, to win. 4-0 up, don't know how long it took to get that last of the 4 goals. Going into half time, exactly what you want. Goals, 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 and it's your team scoring every fucking one of them. Second half starts, again, I can't remember the exact signs on them, but I'm pretty sure it was very, very quickly in the second half, they scored 3 goals. And I'm thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, like, seriously. We're in the midst of a title race with Liverpool that went right to the very death, as we know. Season of the Villa game, the Gundogan game, actually, I should call it. Fuck the Villa game, it's the Gundogan game. Arsenal was the only one I remember where they took a 4-0 lead and bottled it. It went 4-3. I'm pretty sure there's still quite a while left after they scored the 3rd goal. And I'm just sitting there thinking, not in a title race. Like, I mean, a 4-0... Going 4-0 up and not winning the game is a bad thing anyway. I think Laporte, I don't know if he scored the next goal, but I remember him scoring from a corner, which traditionally we are fucking shite at. You know what I mean? Even nowadays. Back then, we scored a couple more probably because there was no tactics behind it. It was just kind of get the ball in the box. And then the 3rd one actually stuck between quite a couple here, mainly because of the occasion. The Carabao Cup final against Chelsea, which we won on pens, and the Watford one, which we won 6-0, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying. The other ones I was going to think of as well is the Villa one, the season after in the Carabao Cup final in 1920, which was the only cup we won that season, we won that season. I also went to that. And then also, the biggest game in terms of the furthest we've ever been in the Champions League where I've went is the quarterfinals. Now, don't get me wrong, overall, it was a shit game because they just sat completely back. But it's when we played at Atletico Madrid and we won 1-0 in 21-22, De Bruyne scoring. That for me wasn't particularly a great game, kind of similar with the Chelsea one. I actually think the Chelsea one was kind of better, even though there's no goals in that, until the penalties, of course. But the occasion, would you class a quarter-final as probably not a big occasion in an FA Cup final, but would you class that as a bigger game to go to, given that we were playing Watford in the FA Cup final I'm talking about? I don't know, that's for you in the comments. Chelsea won. It wasn't the most boring of nil-nils, don't get me wrong, it's quite an exciting nil-nil, but still nil-nil at the end of the day. And even though we won, the main talking point from that was the fact that Kepa wouldn't go off the fucking pitch, and then he stayed on the pitch because he thought, I'm good, depends, mate. And then Aguero hit one right at him and he let it under him. Thank fuck he did that. Thank fuck he stayed on the pitch as well because Caballero was coming on. And we all know as City fans how good Caballero is, saving fucking penalties. So, if anything, I should be thanking Kepa. At the time, I was going mental at him because it's just wasting my fucking time. It's still my sweet fucking time, but we won end of the day. So, yeah. The Villa game the season after, I think, was a lot of a better game overall. It was 2-1. They had chances. Rodri scored the winning goal. If anything, that just makes me sadder because it looks like he's leaving. Villa had chances in the second half. I think Bravo was playing that day, obviously. He had a tragic first season. He picked it up in the cups after that when he became a cup keeper, but that's not what we bought him for. But he did make a good save in that one. I think it was from a corner. So he technically kind of saved us in that one. That was a very good game. Foden got man of the match that day. And this was before what I consider to be his proper breakthrough, even though we had his debut before that. But for me, I'm going to go with the Watford one because we won 6-0. Kompany's last ever game for the club. We still didn't... I think we kind of got an inkling that he was, but he didn't actually officially announce it at that point. Obviously, big club legend, the captain, one of the biggest club legends, just because of that reason and what he led us to. And the kind of era he started as well. Watford fans, I will give you credit for that one. I remember at the end of the game, obviously, big day out. You probably didn't expect to win, don't get me wrong, but you're getting beat 6-0. Watford, I don't think, is that far away from London, so you could have just went home early. They were waving the flags at the last very minute, so credit to you, but that was a very, very good day. I think the Chelsea one was better because, like I said, it had its ups and downs with the pens and stuff because I think didn't we miss a pen? But we win that one at the end of the day, and going into it, I expect us to beat Chelsea, but it wasn't as a certain... Well, I know not as a certainty, but I really expected us to beat Watford. Is essentially what I'm saying. Was I wasn't that confident against Chelsea, even though I still thought we would win. So you could argue that. Leave it in the comments. What do you think? That one's mainly based on occasion, so what would you put for that one? The game that I'm starting off with is we got beat by Middlesbrough in 14-15 under Pellegrini. Usually when I was younger, I'd say mostly in the East Stand, but also sometimes in the Colin Bell Stand, obviously not in the hospitality, because that kind of goes against everything I'm saying with, the money we had and stuff. Not that was poor or anything. But I used to sit in the top stand. This Middlesbrough game was the first ever time I got to sit in the bottom tier. Didn't actually really mean anything because, I feel like I thought some of the players were going to say hello to me or something. I wasn't sitting that close to the front. But I was close to the pitch. It was a big thing for, at the time, 7-year-old me. And now again, 2015, 2007, that's 8 years, mate. I was born in August, which means it would have been in the 15-16 season. So do your maths correctly. But sitting at the bottom for the very first time seems pretty much on the face of it, especially if it happened now, like a bit of a banker of a game. We should be winning that. I remember 1-0 down, we're chasing for a goal. I'm pretty sure it was Aguero who gave the ball away. It might have been someone else on the edge of the box. They go running off. I'm sitting in the stand, lower tier. Middlesbrough fans, I don't know the way, just looking at the video. I'm pointing to my left. Patrick Bamford, I'm pretty sure, scored. I think he was on loan. And I'm looking at them. They're going mental. And I'm sitting there, little 7-year-old me, chuffed that I'm sitting in the bottom tier. And it ends in shite. We lost 2-0 to Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. I'm pretty sure it was the first round we played as well. So, yeah. That was pretty fucking shit. If we want to talk about pretty fucking shit, one that I was old enough to know the full stakes of the game of. One where we were, in my lifetime, like I mentioned in the previous video. And I know this isn't anywhere near as bad as some of you had to go through in, mainly the main road days and stuff. That period that we were going through under Pep in 24-25, 1 win, 13 games, which we hadn't even completed the full thing of at this time, I'm pretty sure. We had Liverpool the weekend. Liverpool obviously ran away with the league that season. We're playing horribly shite. We have Liverpool was the game at the weekend was at Anfield. Horrible record there anyway, even we're on much better form than they are. We're going into that one. I'm dreading it already because how shite we're playing. They're dominating the league. Feyenoord comes up in the midweek I'm there at the Etihad, ready for this one, hoping we can just end this bit of a rut. At least go into the Anfield game with a little, maybe we can just nick a little win. You know, just something, even though that's like the biggest of hopes that I'm clinging on to, at least it was something. We didn't actually play particularly well, don't get me wrong. 75 minutes though, we're 3-0 up. We're doing our thing. We actually might be back. We might have ended the rut. That might be it. What happens in the next 15 minutes? We can see 3 goals and 3-3. And bearing in mind, by the way, this wasn't, I'm talking about the Liverpool game a lot that came after that. This wasn't like a fucking game where we secured the Champions League places. We actually had to go down to the last day against Club Brugge, in which we were losing half-time, which I also went to, by the way. But we won that one, so that's not going to be my worst games. So, yeah, that told you how bad we were that season, and we couldn't even hold on to a 3-0 lead. 15 minutes to go, we're Feyenoord. That's probably the worst one in terms of... The Middlesbrough one, I was a kid. I was chuffed that I was sitting... Chuffed, I keep saying that. I was dead happy that I was sitting at the bottom tier and that I was watching my team play, and I was a bit upset as a kid. Didn't cry or anything, don't get me wrong. But this Feyenoord one, I actually fully was aware of what's going on. I'm old enough now at this stage. I was like 16 or 17. So I know what's going on. I know the state we're in as a team. And that was diabolical. I mean, there's been some games which I've been speechless on whether I went to them or not. That one, I've never seen anything with it, with my two own eyes. And then the third one is actually from this season, which, again, you listen to my worst games. If you're an older fan, probably nowhere near your worst games. Yeah, well, I feel sorry for you. I've gone with the Leverkusen game. It was one of the most dire performances I've ever seen, genuinely. Again, we're not at a point where we're fully secured the league position or anything. Again, went down to the last day against Galatasaray where we needed a win. And even then, we only just snuck through because Madrid got beat by Benfica. And for some reason, I don't even remember, I don't think we were playing someone massive at the weekend, I could be wrong on that. But Pep decided he's going to change the whole 11, Trafford in goal, right back, right wing combo, Savinho with the right wing, Rico Lewis at right back. Yeah, you can imagine how that went. I don't know how good Leverkusen are on the ball, but even if they're good, we made them look like prime Barcelona because it was the most half-arsed press ever, which is probably the worst thing you can do because you either drop back, then they have to do something, or you press them and you're mad on them. A half press means that you're just going out of position and they're pressing around you. I mean, Flecken looked like he was as calm as Prime Edison on the ball, and I watched Flecken at Brentford. He was never that calm on the ball. I mean, I have a lot to say about that game. I mean, the thing that summed it up, the thing that kind of summed Savinho up as well as the performance itself. 89th minute, I think it was. I'm watching him run down the right wing. He's actually got space. Probably not going to get anything from the game, but just sort of, mate, please just sort of, no one's near him. What's he do? Trips over the fucking ball. Some honourable mentions in that. I have the Community Shield game against Leicester, which was in the same season as that 6-3 game. That one didn't hurt in terms of the game as much. Again, I was old enough to understand the meaning behind that game. As I said, Community Shield for me isn't a big game, but it was just the fact that this is when the Euros got pushed back, so a lot of the players were let, like they are this season with the World Cup, to have a bit more of a rest, to be on holiday and stuff. So he played quite a lot of the second team. There was still some players, I think Diaz played that day, because they got knocked out quite early in the Euros. But like Samuel Edozie, who's now at Southampton, he was playing and stuff like that. So, I mean, I did get to see Grealish's debut and stuff. That was just more the fact that my dad drove us up. It was a long fucking way there. We're going there for a Community Shield, just thinking, not a big game, but we get to go to Wembley. Probably see us lift something. We don't lift something. And also, I have the Real Madrid loss from a couple of years ago. Now, it's not the biggest and most upsetting Real Madrid loss we've had. The most upsetting Real Madrid loss we had was probably 21-22. Or even the one on pens a couple of years ago in 23-24. This one is the 24-25 one. Yes, we were shit yesterday. Probably you would expect them to beat us maybe because we were on such a bad run of form and stuff that season. But It was the fact that we were 2-1 up. We've got like 5 minutes left. Ederson, yes, this was his last season. This is when fans are really getting on his back now. And yes, he had started going a bit dodgy with his kicking and stuff, but Ederson, your number one thing is kicking the ball out. We were fine. They actually weren't really creating a whole lot, especially in the second half. 2-1 up, 5 minutes to go. Just see it out, lad. What does he do? Kicks the ball straight to them. They make it 2-2. That completely changed the way the game went, and they went 3-2. Do you know what I mean? So, again, a bit like the Feyenoord one, the fact that we had a lead that late on. This was even later on in the game, and this one we lost. Yeah, just a bit of a shit feeling. That's an honourable mention. I am interested to hear what your 3 best and your 3 worst games are, because there's obviously going to be a difference in age and stuff as well, plus some of you have like season tickets and stuff, which I said I don't have. Yeah, if you want to make a young lad's dream come true, then subscribe, because that'll give me more money, and that mean eventually I can go more games and eventually get a season ticket. Dream come true.